أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
All right. So in the previous verses, we just read that every praise belongs to Allah. He is the creator, cherisher, sustainer of all of the creations and all of the worlds, universes, etc. He is the most compassionate for all creatures in this world, the most merciful to only Muslims at the day of judgment, and master of all affairs on the day of recompense, the day of Qiyamah, when resurrection, accountability, rewards, and punishment will take place. Alright, so he will be master of all affairs, all the things at the day of judgment. Now, in this world, we have possessions of our own. For example, we have our body and we have our faculties of seeing and hearing, different senses, different body parts, limbs, all of this. We have wealth, we have our home, car, family, our own businesses, jobs, etc. These are our belongings. But in reality, the we are the these are not completely our possessions, which means that we do not have any right over these possessions. It is Allah who has given authority to us, and we are just, you may say, the caretakers of uh, these possessions, which means that it is an oath between us and Allah, that, oh Allah, you are giving us these things, we will utilize it to to make you happy and to earn our rewards at the day of judgment. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So whatever stuff we have got, whatever things we have, the main purpose of all of this is to utilize all of these resources in order to fulfill the obligations of Islam and in order to earn Jannah eventually. This is the main purpose. So we are not complete, and we do not have complete absolute authority over these things. We have partial authority because the real master is Allah. But at the day of judgment, even this partial authority will be lost. We will not have any control even on our bodies. So at the day of judgment, our body parts, our limbs will speak themselves that what this person has been doing with us, what actions he has been doing using us. So our eyes will be witnesses against us that this person used to see this or good or bad things through me, and our ears will speak at the day of judgment that this person used to listen to such and such things. Same is the case with our hands and feet and legs and etc. Every limb of our body will be able to speak. So we will have no control at the day of judgment. So at the day of judgment, Allah will be the absolute master, absolute owner of all the things. In other words, it's a warning that you are not going to live in this world forever. So take care of your affairs and be cautious while doing any action, because there is a day of judgment, there is a final day, there is a day of Qiyamah where you will be accountable for your actions. So in this world, there are many situations when criminals, they can fool the government or the authorities, and they can run away, they can flee, and they can cheat the system out of punishment. So they can protect themselves through bribing the officials or through various means, and they can avoid punishment in this world. There are many situations. However, at the day of judgment, no one will be able to escape Allah's punishment. So it is a warning that yes, He is merciful, yes, He is compassionate, but He is the judge also, and He is the master of all the things. So we have to be careful. All right. You alone do we worship, and you alone do we ask for help. All right. First part is very clear. It is only Allah whom we worship. The second part, we need to understand some certain realities or some certain things. Okay. So if you sick, you are sick, you seek the help of a doctor, is it not?
Yes.
Yes. So then what is the meaning of you alone do we ask for help? What's the meaning of this then? Now, let me give you an example. Suppose that two people have COVID. They go to the doctor, visit the doctor, and the intensity of their sickness is the same. Both are treated by the same doctor who is equally qualified. He prescribes the medicine, the same medicine, to both of the patients. One patient is cured, the other patient dies because of the disease. So what is happening here? The intensity of the disease was the same. The doctor was one single doctor. He was equally qualified for both of them. He prescribed the same medicine. He was not careless for one and careful for the other. He gave equal attention to both of them. What has happened? Why one person survived and the other died? What do you think is the answer?
Allah didn't give one of them shifa.
Yeah. So it was in his destiny that he had to die, no matter what. So Allah did not give him shifa. So it is Allah who gives the shifa. The medicine and the doctor are only a means. In this world, we can only adopt the means to accomplish anything, but it is not a sure short thing. It is not 100% guarantee that we will accomplish that. There is no guarantee for that. If only
Yeah.
if only Allah wishes, then we will get that thing. One thing. Secondly, who has given intelligence to the doctor that he is helping us? Who has given him the ability to decide to find out or sort out the disease which the other person is having? Who has given him the ability to see, to ability to listen, and use his hands and feet and all of his body parts and brain, mind? Who is the giver of all of these blessings to that doctor? It is Allah. So yes, we are being helped by the doctor, but indirectly we are being helped by Allah in reality. So whenever we seek help from anyone, we have to have this aqidah or this belief in our mind that this person is only helping me with the permission of Allah or with the help of Allah Himself. If Allah does not will, this person cannot help me. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the meaning of this statement, that you alone do we ask for help. So even if we ask other people for help, we do not believe, or we do not have to, we must not believe that this person alone has the power to help me. That will be shirk. That will be disbelief, kufr. According to Islam, our belief should be that this person is only helping us because in reality Allah is making this person help us, or Allah has given the ability to this person to help us. So in reality, Allah is helping us through this person, because Allah will not come down in human form and He will not have a normal conversation with us like humans do, and He will not hold our hand and then He will not physically do something for us like this. He will use the means to help us. Yes, there are certain examples in history, especially in the lives of the prophets. These are called miracles. Allah has helped the prophet, his messengers, through natural phenomena, or through supernatural things. Or you may say that those things are not normal, those events or those happenings are not normal. But as far as normal human beings are concerned, it is a general rule of Allah to use the means to help that person. Now, Allah has the ability to directly help without any means, but those are exceptional cases. Normally, does not happen. This in this world, in order to satisfy our hunger, we have to eat food. But it is Allah who will quench our hunger. I will, I will explain. I will give you another example. Have you ever forgotten to say Bismillah before eating food? Has
Mm,
this happened?
yes.
Okay. Now let me ask you another question. Has it ever happened that you forgot, you were not mindful, and you were eating from your left hand instead of your right hand?
No.
No. Okay, it has never happened. Alright, that's great. Okay, whenever you forget to say Bismillah until the very end, you don't say Bismillah, do you feel as if you are not fulfilled, as if there is something missing, even though you have eaten a lot, but still you feel empty inside? Has it ever happened?
Yes.
Yeah. So the reason is that Allah did not make your hunger, Allah did not give you the feeling that you have had enough because you did not, because you forgot to say Bismillah. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the meaning, that you alone do we ask for help. You alone do we worship, and you alone do we ask for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of Islam. The straight path is only the path of Islam. The path of Christianity is not the straight path. The path of Judaism or Hinduism or atheism or agnosticism or whatever isms there are, they are not. Only Islam is the straight path. The path of those whom you have favored by guiding them aright. Alright, so in the summary, we just read that the favored ones are the Anbiya, the prophets, the messengers, and their companions, and the martyrs, and the good pious Muslims. Alright, so if the prophets are the most successful people, or the blessed ones who have been blessed by Allah, who have been favored by Allah, what does this statement mean now? It is very important to understand and go deeper to uh, go to deeper meanings of this statement. It is very important, because if we study the lives of the messengers, of the prophets, Prophet Musa alayhi salam was a messenger of Allah, yes, but he was not the king. The king was Pharaoh or Fir'aun of Egypt, namely Ramses the third. So he was the king. Prophet Musa alayhi salam was not the king. So how is it that Allah favored Prophet Musa and not Fir'aun? What is the meaning of, in reality, what is the meaning of favoring by Allah? If Allah gives someone wealth, does it mean that He has favored him? No, not necessarily. There are many people in the world. Steve Jobs was a non Muslim, he died a non Muslim, Even though he founded Apple, and even though he was one of the richest people, it does not mean that Allah has favored him, because if he has died as a kafir and if he was not a Muslim in secret, then definitely if he has died as a kafir, then he will definitely go to hell. So how he has been favored? Even though he had wealth, he has not been favored. If Bill Gates dies without entering the fold of Islam, then he will also be the unfavored one, even though he is one of the richest men of this world. Still, he will die. He will go to hell if before his death he does not enter the fold of Islam. Uh, if the president of USA, the most powerful person on earth, or at least in USA, and USA being a superpower, if he most powerful person on earth, if he dies as a non-Muslim, then he is not favored, even though he is very powerful, even though he has many resources, but still he is not. So, what is the true meaning of being favored? All right, one thing is the guidance, as if written in the bracket, in the bracket inside the bracket, it is written, and the explanation of this, by guiding them aright. But there is a second side of it also, which we need to understand here. And inshallah, it will answer many of your questions and complications which you may have been facing or feeling. Okay, so Afwan, let me ask you a question. Do you know this? In which country is the highest suicide rate?
I don't know that.
You don't know that. Okay, I will name some of the countries. You can Google it. Japan, USA, and other European Western countries are one of those where the suicide rate is the highest. Now, let me ask you this question: why Japan? Why USA? Why other Western countries? Why it is so? When there is a lot of technology, when there is healthcare, when people are generally wealthy, as compared to the third world, as compared to other Asian countries and African countries, people have a lot of resources, but still, and very rich people also commit suicide. And most of the people who commit suicide do so not because of any financial reasons. So, what do you think is the reason behind it? Do you know about it?
Probably because they don't feel fulfilled with their life, which is also the reason they go into drugs and other substances.
Yeah, that's right, mashallah. And also, in these countries where there is high suicide and high crime rate, the rate of depression, clinical depression, is also high. Uh, do you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now you have to understand this. Humans naturally have two components, and because of those two components, humans are alive, and they are called humans. One is body, the other is soul. Soul is made up of light. Body is, uh, in the beginning, was made up of clay, but later on, the children of Prophet Adam al Islam, they are made up of maybe flesh and bones and semen, stuff like that. So When a person dies, what happens? His soul departs from his body. The body remains in this world, but the soul goes to the next world. This is what keeps us alive. Our soul keeps us alive. So, in reality, what is happening when we are moving our hands or talking or doing any action? It is our soul inside our body which is making our body do that stuff. Without our soul, our body cannot function. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
All right. Those who deny or reject the idea of soul, they should explain the idea of death. What is death? Why some bodies function normally, there is no disease in that person, but still he dies. They should explain this. So, as Muslims, we have to believe that there is a soul and there is a body. Now, let me give you another example. Now, let me explain to you further, keeping this example or keeping this concept in mind. If we have a soul, and yes, indeed, we have a soul inside our body, and soul is made up of light, nur or light. It also has some needs. The soul also has some needs, some requirements. It also needs something for nourishment. It also needs something for strength. It also gets its diseases. It also gets sick. It also has to get its cure. It also has to remain healthy. Now, let me ask you a question. Has it ever happened that when you have performed your wudu, your ablution, and after that you have performed the salah, have you ever felt happy inside even once in your life after performing salah? Has it ever happened as if you have felt a kind of calmness or serenity inside you? Has it ever happened, Afwan?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let me ask you another question, or let me ask the same thing in another way. As compared to your school or the market, what is the environment of the masjid in which you go? What is the environment of the masjid as compared to school and the market?
It's very welcoming.
It's very welcoming, it's very calm.
Yeah.
There is peace inside the masjid, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah, people are not in a rush. People are not panicked or in any way. They are relaxed. The environment is relaxed there. Is it true?
Yes.
All right. Now, all of these things indicate that the food for soul is good deeds. Okay, let me ask you another question. Have you ever helped a poor person by giving him money or charity or something like that? Or have you ever helped a blind or disabled person by helping him cross the street, cross the road? Or have you ever done anything which could benefit others?
Yes.
Yes. Whenever you have done it, did you feel any happiness inside your chest? A kind of a good feeling lingering inside you?
Yes.
Yes. A kind of a good current or a lingering inside you. So, all of these feelings, all of these observations which you have observed, just keep them in mind. And now listen to me closely, that the food for soul are the good deeds, and those good deeds should also be according to the teachings of Islam. So there is a possibility that a person considers a deed to be good, but it is in reality a bad one. For example, if you steal money from someone and then give that money in charity, that charity will not be accepted in the eyes of Allah, because that money was haram. It was from theft. So you have to earn halal money and then give it to charity, and then it will be accepted. Similarly, if you do any good deed to show off to others, yes, I am a very pious person, people will talk about me, that good deed will be wasted. So it should be according to the teachings of Islam. It should fulfill the requirements, and then you will feel happiness, you will feel satisfied, you will feel in peace. This is what Islam is all about. If we follow the instructions of Islam as close as we follow and as much as we follow, we will feel the level of our peace will increase. The more we act upon Islam, the more peaceful we will become, the more happier we will become. So, there is a certain limit uh, in which is necessary. A certain amount of money, a certain amount of resources are necessary in order to function properly in the society. However, true happiness does not depend on wealth alone. Yes, money is important. I will not deny it. But to a certain extent, not more than that certain extent. So human needs are can be limited. Human needs are in reality limited. However, it is the greed inside humans which makes them uh, which makes them to want more and more and more, but still they are not satisfied because they are not working on their souls, they are only working on their bodies. So going to the gym or doing sports and remaining healthy in your body is important, but on the other hand, the nourishment of your soul is also important, and you will only be granted true peace because uh, if only you follow the instructions of Islam. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Now let me back up this statement of mine to a verse of Quran. There is a verse in the Quran. Uh, Verily, in the remembrance of Allah, do hearts find rest, or do hearts find peace. Uh, yeah, yeah. This is Surah Al-Ra'd. Surah Al-Ra'd, and this is verse 28. The ones who believe and their hearts are peaceful with the remembrance of Allah. Listen, the hearts find peace only in the remembrance of Allah. Okay? So, the more we remember Allah by following His commandments, the more peaceful our hearts will become. Now, do you understand what is the real reason behind depression and highest suicide rate? Despite of wealth, despite of resources?
Yes.
All right. So, in reality, when we say that In reality, the blessed ones are the messengers, the prophets and their companions, and the pious Muslims, even though many of them did not have any authority in this world. Many of them were not so wealthy. Even then, they were favored. So, this is the meaning, that their hearts were full of peace because of following the instruction of Islam. They had strong faith in Allah, and Allah helped them in every situation, even even though that they did not have any material resources, or very few material resources in this world. Even though they were not kings, but still they were more powerful than kings, because the King of Kings, who is Allah, was their helper. And when Allah favors a person, then nobody can defeat that person. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yeah. Our time is over. This is the last one. Do you want to do it in short?
Yes.
All right. And not the path of those with whom you are angry, the Jews, nor the path of those who have gone astray, the Christians. Okay, what is the meaning of this? The path of those whom you have favored by guiding them aright, and not the path of those with whom you are angry, the Jews. So Allah is angry with the Jews. Why? Because Jews have disobeyed Allah intentionally. Even though they know the truth, even though that Islam is the truth, they are jealous and they are arrogant and they ignore the truth. Why? Now, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam had two sons, Sayyidina Ishaq alayhi salam, who was also a messenger of Allah, and Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam. Have you ever heard the name Ismail?
Yes.
Yeah, Ismail alayhi salam. The event of sacrifice of animals in the big Eid, Eid al-Adha, is linked with Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam. You may have heard that story. We will inshallah discuss that later on, inshallah. Okay, so Prophet Ishaq alayhi salam had many messengers in his descendants. So, like Prophet Musa alayhi salam, and Prophet Isa alayhi salam, and Prophet, I think, yeah, and there were many other major prophets and messengers who were among the descendants or the children of Prophet Ishaq alayhi salam. However, Prophet Ismail alayhi salam had only one descendant who was also a prophet, and he is the final messenger. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is the great grandson of Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Okay, now the Jews or the Bani Israel are actually the descendants of Prophet Ishaq alayhi salam. They are the children of Prophet Ishaq alayhi salam. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was the son of Prophet Ismail alayhi salam. Ismail and Ishaq were stepbrothers. They were from different mothers. The father was the same, who was Prophet Ibrahim, but their mothers were different. Now, this is the problem with the Jews, that they are jealous, that they are actually racist. Judaism is a very racist religion. So if you are not, if a person is not originally born a Jew, he cannot be a reverted Jew. One cannot revert to Judaism. One has to be born to a Jewish mother. So they are very racist. So they have this anger, this jealousy, that why the final messenger is not from the Jews? Why from the Arabs? Why from Bani Ismail? Why not from Bani Ishaq? This is the only reason, that they ignore the truth, even though they know that Islam is the truth, the final messenger, and the Quran is the real book of Allah, they still deny it. That is why Allah is angry on them. Despite of having knowledge, if you ignore the truth, then Allah is angry on those people. Allah's wrath is on those people who, despite of having knowledge, ignore the truth and break the laws of Allah. Nor the path of those who have gone astray, the Christians. The Christians were actually, in reality, in the beginning, true Muslims, the followers of Prophet Isa alayhi salam. Because every messenger is a Muslim, and he has been propagating and promoting the message of Islam. However, later on they went astray. They overindulged in love of Prophet Isa and increased his status from a human to God. So so Trinity was introduced later on in the Christian circles and Christianity. There is a backstory, but we do not have to go in those details. You just have to keep this in mind, that previously the Christians, which were Muslims, they were on the right path, but because of ignorance and because of losing their track and because of losing the correct original Injil, they lost the plot. The real followers of Prophet Isa alayhi salam, who believed in oneness of Allah, in Tawheed, they eventually died, and then their followers, they went astray. So they are not necessarily bad natured people. Many Christians are very good natured, and when they are exposed to the truth, when they understand the reality, the truth, they accept Islam, they revert to Islam. They are not arrogant. Their only problem is their ignorance. But the Jews, they are knowledgeable people, but they ignore the truth intentionally. That is why Allah is angry on them. So a true Muslim is he who seeks knowledge, who is not ignorant, and who is also humble, who is not arrogant. So he is not ignorant, he does not do any action without knowledge. And secondly, he is not arrogant, he is humble. Whenever he knows or understands the truth, he acts upon it. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
This was the explanation of Surah Fatiha. Inshallah, meet you tomorrow. Wish you best of luck. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So I hope that this video was useful for you. If it is so, then please like it, comment on it, share it, and subscribe my channel. Wish you best of luck. Inshallah, we will meet in the next video. Assalamu alaikum. Bye bye.